This is the mirror of consciousness, a sacred unveiling of how your inner world creates your outer reality. As you listen, you'll discover that life is not reacting to you, it is responding to you. Every circumstance is a reflection of the beliefs you carry inside. And now, it is time to change the reflection. The Rare Book of Manifestation. Introduction. Long before the rise of machines and modern minds, in an age veiled by starlight and sacred symbols, the ancient ones held a truth so powerful it echoed through the ages. Thoughts are the architects of reality. This knowledge was never bound by geography or era. It was whispered in the shadows of Egyptian sanctuaries, etched into Eastern scrolls, and danced into memory by tribal fires beneath endless skies. The law of attraction, though given a name in recent times, is no new discovery. It is the primordial rhythm of creation itself, an eternal current flowing through the unseen realms. Just as the oak slumbers in the acorn, your every thought carries the code of the world you are yet to create. This is not an ordinary book. These chapters are a rare inheritance, a hidden manuscript of manifestation passed hand to hand through sages, mystics, and seers. And now, it has found you. You were never without this power. Like the sun to the sunflower, your desires naturally reach toward their own fulfillment. Your thoughts are incantations, commanding the formless into form, calling forth realities from the silence between moments. What you will find here is not new knowledge, but lost memory, a sacred remembrance of the Creator within you. These teachings have crowned kings, sparked golden ages, and awaken divine potential in the hearts of dreamers. Now they return once more to awaken you. The universe does not guess nor gamble. Its laws are exact, its mirror flawless. As surely as the moon pulls the tide, your reality bends to the gravity of your belief. Your journey begins now. The Rare Book of Manifestation is not a volume to be read. It is a doorway to be crossed. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Part 1. The Foundation of Universal Laws. Chapter 1. The Mirror of Consciousness. In a small village, Eleanor sat at her wooden workbench, needle in hand, staring at the pile of torn garments before her. Day after day, customers brought her their damaged, worn-out clothes, seeking repairs. As she threaded her needle, a realization dawned. Every garment reflected the same careless treatment she gave her own possessions. For years, Eleanor had believed life was about mending what was broken, fixing others' mistakes. Her own wardrobe consisted of patched-together pieces, her home filled with second-hand furniture she'd restored. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, had manifested her beliefs perfectly, bringing her an endless stream of broken things to fix. When this truth pierced her heart, Eleanor began shifting her inner landscape. She started creating beautiful new garments from fresh fabric, focusing on the joy of original creation rather than repair. Within months, her shop transformed. Customers now sought her talents for wedding gowns and celebration attire. Her outer world had shifted to mirror her renewed inner vision. The law of attraction operates with such precision that your external reality becomes an exact reflection of your internal state. Every circumstance, relationship, and experience manifests from the thoughts and feelings you hold within. The universe, like a cosmic mirror, reflects back the essence of your consciousness with unwavering accuracy. This truth revealed itself again through Margaret, who taught at the local school. Her class had gained a reputation for being difficult and unruly. Each morning, she entered her classroom expecting disruption, and without fail, chaos ensued. The children fulfilled her expectations perfectly. One summer evening, while tending her garden, Margaret witnessed how her nurturing attention transformed tiny seeds into flourishing plants. A spark of understanding ignited. Her students, like her garden, would grow according to the energy she provided. When autumn arrived, Margaret viewed her new class through transformed eyes. She saw not troublemakers, but bright souls full of potential. She expected creativity, and creative projects blossomed. She anticipated cooperation, and harmony flourished. Her classroom became a reflection of her renewed vision, proving that what we see in others mirrors what we believe possible. Sacred practice, and as the sun rises each morning, find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Survey your current life circumstances, your relationships, work, home, and health. These are not random occurrences, but precise reflections of your inner world. Ask yourself, what beliefs within me have manifested these conditions? Observe without judgment as a witness would. Then consciously choose new thoughts that align with your desired reality. Feel these new thoughts taking root in your consciousness. Know that as surely as dawn follows night, your outer world will transform to mirror your renewed inner state. Chapter 2. The Language of Desire. In the heart of an ancient marketplace, Thomas kneaded dough in his small bakery, his movements mechanical, his spirit heavy. Each morning he crafted the same basic loaves his father and grandfather had made before him. Yet deep within, an unfulfilled desire whispered of creating artisanal breads infused with exotic spices and herbs from distant lands. This calling persisted, but Thomas pushed it aside, believing it foolish to deviate from tradition. "Who am I to want more?" he would mutter, continuing his familiar routine. Yet the yearning remained, growing stronger with each passing day. The universe speaks through the language of desire, not the fleeting wants of the ego, but the sustained longings that arise from your soul's depths. These authentic desires serve as divine signposts, guiding you toward your highest expression. When you feel a persistent calling that fills you with both excitement and peace, know that the universe itself is beckoning you forward. Fear-based wants manifest as desperate grasping arising from lack or unworthiness. True desires, however, emerge with a quiet certainty, accompanied by expansive joy. They persist despite logic's protests, because they originate from your soul's wisdom rather than your mind's limitations. Grace, a young woman who spent her days copying manuscripts in a dusty office, understood this distinction well. Though her position offered security, her heart yearned to write stories of her own. Each night, she would dream of touching others' lives through her words. While fear whispered of failure and judgment, her desire burned steady and bright. One day, Grace noticed how a single candle's flame always reaches upward, regardless of its surroundings. This natural alignment with its highest expression mirrors how authentic desires consistently point toward your true path. Following this insight, Grace began dedicating her mornings to writing her own tales. Soon, her stories found their way to those who needed them most, confirming that her desire had indeed been divine guidance. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment as twilight approaches. Light a candle and settle into stillness. Allow your thoughts to calm like waters after a storm. Now listen deeply to the desires that arise from your heart's depths. Which ones persist beyond momentary wants? Which ones fill you with both peace and possibility? Take your sacred journal and write these desires without censoring or judging them. Express gratitude for each one, thanking the universe for already setting their fulfillment in motion. End by speaking these words. I trust these divine desires as guidance toward my highest good. They flow from Source itself, and their fulfillment serves all. Chapter 3: The Power of Sacred Intention. In a small village among ancient oaks, Harold crafted furniture with skilled hands but a troubled mind. Each piece he created seemed to fall short of his vision, despite his technical mastery. One morning, while sanding a table that refused to meet his standards, he paused to watch sunlight stream through his workshop window, illuminating dancing dust motes in its golden rays. The light revealed a truth: his creations reflected not his actions, but his thoughts. When he approached his work with doubt and frustration, even his most precise measurements yielded unsatisfying results. Yet on days when joy filled his heart, simple pieces transformed into works of extraordinary beauty. Intention flows as a creative force through the universe, shaping reality with more power than action alone. Unlike wishes, which float like leaves on a stream, true intention anchors itself in the depths of your being. It combines crystal-clear vision with unshakable faith and resonant emotion. When you set an intention, you activate the universe's creative forces, initiating a sacred dance between your consciousness and the infinite field of possibility. Ruby, who owned a small shop at the village crossroads, understood this mystical principle. Each morning before opening her door, she would stand quietly in her shop's center, breathing in the silence. In this sacred moment, she set her intention not merely to sell goods, but to serve as a beacon of light for all who entered. This simple practice transformed her modest shop into a sanctuary where customers found not just what they sought, but what their souls needed. The universe responds not to your actions, but to the magnetic force of your intentions. Like a master composer, your intentions orchestrate the symphony of circumstances, drawing to you the exact experiences, individuals, and opportunities that match their vibration. When you align your intentions with the highest good, the universe moves mountains to support their manifestation. Sacred practice, as the first light of dawn breaks across the horizon, create a sacred space for yourself. Sit in perfect stillness, allowing your breath to become soft and rhythmic. From this space of inner quiet, set one clear intention for your day. Let it arise, not from obligation, but from the depths of your heart. Feel this intention as if it were already manifest. If your intention is to serve others with grace, feel the warmth of compassion flowing through you. If it is to create with inspiration, feel the energy of divine creativity coursing through your being. Let this feeling infuse every cell of your body. Carry this energetic signature with you throughout your day, returning to it whenever you need to realign with your sacred purpose. Remember, your intention serves as a compass, guiding all your actions toward their highest expression. Chapter 4: The Art of Vibrational Alignment. In a sunlit conservatory, Florence sat at her beloved grand piano, her fingers hovering above the keys. For years, she had played technically perfect pieces that left audiences unmoved. Though her skill was undeniable, something essential remained missing from her music: One afternoon, as she practiced Chopin's Nocturne in E-flat major, her thoughts drifted to a letter she'd received bearing joyful news. As warmth filled her heart, her fingers seemed to dance of their own accord, drawing forth notes that shimmered with life. In that moment, she understood. Her music reflected not her technique, but her emotional state. Your emotional frequency broadcasts a constant signal to the universe, attracting experiences that match its vibration. Like a radio receiver, the universe can only tune into the station you're currently playing. When you vibrate at the frequency of joy, abundance, and love, you naturally draw more experiences that evoke these same emotions. Your feelings serve as an internal guidance system, a sacred compass, pointing toward or away from your desires. When you experience positive emotions, you're aligned with your intentions. Negative emotions signal that you're resisting what you wish to attract. This emotional awareness becomes your most powerful tool for conscious creation. Chester, who tended vast fields of wheat, came to understand this truth through his daily work. He noticed that crops planted in anger or worry struggled to thrive, while those sown with joy and gratitude flourished abundantly. He learned to cultivate his emotional state as carefully as he cultivated his land, understanding that his inner atmosphere affected his outer harvest. Just as a gardener creates optimal conditions for growth, you must nurture the emotional climate that supports your manifestations. When you maintain the feeling tone of what you desire, be it peace, prosperity, or love, you become a natural magnet for its physical expression. Sacred practice. Throughout your day, pause at regular intervals, perhaps when the sun reaches its zenith, when shadows lengthen in late afternoon, and as evening stars appear. In these moments, turn your awareness inward and notice the quality of your emotional state. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Does this emotion match the frequency of what I wish to attract? If you find yourself in a lower vibration, consciously choose thoughts and activities that elevate your frequency. Perhaps recall a moment of pure joy, take a walk in nature, or express gratitude for the blessings in your life. As you cultivate higher vibrational states, notice how your external reality begins to shift, reflecting back to you the very qualities you've nurtured within. Remember, your emotional state is not merely a response to life, it is the very force that shapes it. Chapter 5, The Symphony of Gratitude. Like ripples, spreading across still waters, genuine appreciation transforms everything it touches. Clarence understood this truth only after years of teaching music to reluctant students. Each day, he walked into his studio carrying the weight of unfulfilled dreams, seeing only what was missing in his life. One morning, as sunlight streamed through his studio window, he watched a young student's eyes light up upon mastering a difficult passage. In that moment, his heart swelled with genuine appreciation for witnessing this small miracle. From that day forward, he began noticing countless moments worthy of gratitude: the perfect acoustics of his teaching space, the dedication of his students, the gift of sharing music with others. As his appreciation grew, so did the abundance in his life. More students sought his guidance, opportunities for performances materialized, and his own musical abilities flourished. He discovered that gratitude acts as a magnetic force, drawing forth more experiences worthy of appreciation. Your ability to attract what you desire strengthens immeasurably when you first acknowledge what you already possess. Gratitude raises your vibrational frequency instantly, aligning you with the infinite abundance of the universe. It is not merely an attitude, but a force that creates reality. Vivian, who worked in the busy halls of a city hospital, discovered this sacred truth during her night shifts. Instead of focusing on the exhaustion and challenges of her work, she began each shift by appreciating the honor of serving others in their time of need. She felt grateful for the medicines that brought relief, for her capable hands that offered comfort, for her colleagues who shared her calling. As she cultivated this practice, remarkable changes unfolded in her ward. Patients recovered more quickly, colleagues became more supportive, and even the most difficult situations seemed to resolve themselves with unexpected ease. Her grateful heart created a field of healing that touched everyone around her. Sacred practice, and as each day draws to a close, find a quiet moment to record 5 specific blessings in your life. Write them in a journal reserved solely for this purpose. Rather than rushing through this ritual, pause with each entry to fully embrace the feeling of appreciation it evokes. Perhaps you're grateful for the warmth of sunlight on your face, a kind word from a stranger, the aroma of your morning coffee, the sound of children's laughter, or the comfort of your bed. Let the emotion of gratitude fill your entire being as you acknowledge each blessing. This practice is not about mere repetition of words, but about training your heart to recognize the abundance that surrounds you always. As you cultivate genuine appreciation, watch how the universe responds by bringing you more experiences worthy of your gratitude. Chapter 6: The Dance of Allowing. In a small village among rolling hills, Beatrice tended her garden with fierce determination. Each morning she would inspect her flowers, pulling and prodding at the buds, willing them to open faster. Her impatience led her to force open the petals of several roses, only to watch them wither and die before their natural time. One day, while mourning her ruined blooms, an old woman passed by her garden gate. "The flowers know when to open," she said softly, "just as the universe knows when to deliver what we seek." Beatrice learned that true manifestation flows like water, not forced, but allowed. When she stopped trying to control every aspect of her garden, she witnessed nature's perfect timing. The flowers bloomed more beautifully than ever before, each opening at precisely the right moment. The universe operates with this same divine wisdom. When you plant a seed of desire in the fertile soil of your consciousness, your role is to nurture it with faith and then allow it to unfold in its own perfect way. Trying to control every detail of how your desires will manifest creates resistance that blocks their natural flow. Walter, a businessman in the city, discovered this truth after years of meticulously planning every step of his company's growth. His need to control every outcome created constant stress and actually prevented opportunities from reaching him. Everything changed when he learned to release his grip on the how. Instead of forcing his vision into a rigid timeline, he began stating his intentions clearly and then surrendering the details to the universe. Remarkable opportunities appeared from unexpected sources. Connections he could never have planned aligned perfectly. His business flourished not through force, but through flow. Your desires are seeds planted in universal soil. The universe holds infinite intelligence and sees all possible paths to their fulfillment. When you release your attachment to specific outcomes and trust in divine timing, you open yourself to receive in ways far greater than your limited perspective could imagine. Sacred practice Select one area of your life where you've been trying to control outcomes. Perhaps it's a relationship, a career goal, or a material desire. On a piece of paper, write down exactly what you've been attempting to force or manipulate. Now close your eyes and imagine physically releasing this situation to the universe. Feel the relief as you let go of the need to orchestrate every detail. Take a deep breath and speak these words. I release my need to control this outcome. I trust in the universe's perfect timing and infinite wisdom. My good comes to me in divine order. Carry this feeling of trust with you throughout your day, knowing that what is meant for you cannot miss you, and what you seek is also seeking you. Chapter 7, The Secret of Divine Timing. In a quiet corner of an ancient city, Albert crafted timepieces with meticulous precision. Each morning he would wind his beloved clocks, setting their rhythms to match the exact second. Yet despite his mastery of mechanical time, life's most precious moments seemed to elude his careful planning. One night, as he worked late in his shop, all his clocks suddenly stopped at once. In the profound silence that followed, he heard the subtle rhythm of the universe, a timing far more intricate than any mechanism he had ever created. In that moment, he understood that true timing flows not by the tick of a clock, but by the wisdom of the infinite. The universe operates on divine timing, orchestrating countless elements to bring about the perfect conditions for your desires to manifest. What appears as delay is often the intricate arrangement of circumstances, people, and events necessary for your highest good. Just as fruit ripens in its season, your manifestations emerge when all elements have aligned in perfect harmony. This truth became clear to Mildred, whose young son faced a lengthy illness. Initially, she prayed for immediate healing, demanding that the universe bend to her timeline. But as she learned to trust in divine timing, she witnessed how each seeming delay brought forth unexpected blessings, new treatments, compassionate doctors, and deeper bonds with her child. When healing finally came, it was complete in ways she could never have orchestrated herself. Your role in manifestation is not to force the timeline, but to maintain unwavering faith. While the universe works its perfect plan, what seems like waiting is actually active preparation, the invisible orchestration of countless details working in your favor. Think of how a symphony comes together. Each instrument must enter at precisely the right moment for the music to achieve its full magnificence. The conductor, like the universe, sees the entire score while each musician plays their part. Your desires are being orchestrated with this same exquisite timing. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and recall 3 specific instances from your past where what initially seemed like an unwanted delay proved to be perfect timing. Perhaps a relationship that didn't work out protected you from future pain, or a missed opportunity led to something far better. Write these experiences in your manifestation journal, noting the hidden blessings that were revealed through divine timing. When current desires seem delayed, return to these memories as evidence of the universe's perfect orchestration. Each morning affirm, I trust in divine timing. My desires are unfolding in the perfect sequence for my highest good. I release all resistance to the universe's perfect plan. Chapter 8, The Frequency of Faith. On a remote coastline where waves crashed against ancient rocks, Oscar kept his lighthouse burning through the fiercest storms. Night after night, He climbed the spiral stairs, tending the flame that guided ships safely to harbor. Even when the thick fog obscured the beam's reach, he maintained his vigil, knowing that somewhere in the darkness, his light was making a difference. Through Oscar's dedication, we glimpse a fundamental truth about faith. It is not the absence of doubt, but the presence of an inner knowing that transcends temporary conditions. Just as Oscar couldn't always see the ships his beacon guided, you cannot always perceive how the universe is working to manifest your desires. Yet like that unwavering light, your faith serves as a constant signal to the universe, drawing your good toward you through the densest fog of circumstance. Faith operates as a force of nature, as real as gravity or magnetism. When you maintain steadfast belief in the fulfillment of your desires, you create an energetic pathway through which the universe can deliver your manifestations. This truth shone brightly in Pearl's story. After losing her beloved husband, she held fast to her belief that love would return to her life. While others urged her to accept solitude as her fate, Pearl nurtured her faith like a precious flame. She didn't know how or when love would appear, but she trusted in its inevitable return. Through seemingly random events, a missed train, a rainy day, an unexpected invitation, the universe orchestrated her connection with a kindred spirit who shared her depth of heart. Your faith acts as a lighthouse for your desires, broadcasting a clear signal through any temporary storms of doubt or delay. It bridges the gap between what is and what will be, allowing the universe to transform possibility into reality. When you maintain unwavering faith, you align with the creative force that shapes worlds, becoming a conscious participant in the manifestation of your desires. Sacred practice. Find a peaceful space where you can be undisturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing your awareness to settle into your heart center. Envision your desire as already fulfilled, experiencing the emotions, sensations, and absolute certainty of its completion. Feel the deep knowing that transcends physical evidence. Each day, devote time to dwelling in this space of absolute certainty, letting your faith shine like a beacon through any clouds of doubt. Record in your journal the moments when your faith feels strongest, using these memories to rekindle your certainty during challenging times. Chapter 9, The Magic of Present Moment Awareness. Archie spent his days surrounded by the gentle ticking of timepieces. His workshop walls held countless clocks, each marking time's eternal march. Yet despite his mastery of measuring minutes, Archie felt constantly rushed, his mind racing between memories of yesterday and worries about tomorrow. Until one morning, when a mysterious malfunction caused every clock in his shop to stop at precisely the same moment. In the sudden silence, Archie experienced something extraordinary, the pure awareness of now. Without the constant reminder of time's passage, he discovered a deeper dimension of existence where true power resided. His work transformed as he gave each timepiece his complete attention, finding that presence enhanced both his skill and satisfaction. The eternal now holds the key to manifestation. When you scatter your energy across time, reliving past regrets or anxiously anticipating the future, you dilute your creative power. The universe responds only to your present vibration, not to what was or what might be. Each moment offers a fresh opportunity to align with your desires through conscious choice. Dorothy, who worked in the town library, embodied this wisdom naturally. Rather than seeing her role as merely organizing books, She approached each interaction as a sacred opportunity. When helping patrons, she brought her full presence to the exchange, transforming routine moments into meaningful connections. Through her awareness, seemingly ordinary days became filled with synchronicities and unexpected blessings. The present moment is your point of power. It's where manifestation occurs, where choices are made, where energy flows. When you fully inhabit the now, you access the infinite potential that exists before thoughts of past or future cloud your consciousness. Like an artist before a blank canvas, you stand in the pure potential of creation. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions in this moment are creating your tomorrow. By maintaining presence, you become a conscious creator rather than a passive participant in life's unfolding. The universe responds not to your hopes for the future or regrets about the past, but to the vibration you embody right now. Sacred practice. Set gentle reminders throughout your day. Perhaps when you hear a clock chime or feel the warmth of sunlight. At each reminder, pause and take 3 conscious breaths. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice the sensations in your body, and observe the beauty available in this moment. Release thoughts of past and future, allowing yourself to rest fully in the now. Let each breath anchor you in presence, knowing that this moment contains all the power you need to manifest your desires. Practice this awareness until presence becomes your natural state, transforming each moment into an opportunity for conscious creation. Chapter 10. The Portal of Imagination. In a sun-drenched studio high above the bustling streets, Jasper stood before his canvas, eyes closed, brush poised. He had learned that true artistry began not with the first stroke of paint, but in the sacred chamber of imagination. Each morning before touching brush to canvas, he would sit in silence, allowing images to form in his mind's eye with crystal clarity. What others dismissed as daydreaming, Jasper recognized as the foundation of all creation. Through years of practice, he discovered that every masterpiece existed first as a vivid vision in his consciousness. The more clearly he could see it within, the more precisely it manifested on canvas. Your imagination is not mere fantasy. It is the workshop of the universe itself. When you engage in conscious visualization, you activate the same creative force that brings spring flowers from winter earth. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a physical one. It accepts whatever images you present to it as instructions for manifestation. Hazel, whose nimble fingers created garments of extraordinary beauty, understood this principle intuitively. Before her scissors ever touched fabric, she would close her eyes and see the finished piece in exquisite detail. She felt the drape of the material, noticed how light played across its surface, heard the rustle of movement. By the time she began her work, the garment already existed in the realm of potential, waiting only to be drawn into physical form. Your imagination is the bridge between desire and manifestation. What you can see clearly in your mind's eye, feel deeply in your heart, and accept completely in your consciousness must inevitably express itself in your physical reality. This is not wishful thinking, but the operation of universal law. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and allow your desired reality to unfold in your mind's theater. See yourself living your dream with perfect clarity. Feel the emotions that accompany its fulfillment. Notice the sounds, scents, and textures around you in this realized vision. If you desire abundance, feel the security and joy of financial freedom. If you seek love, experience the warmth of deep connection. If you dream of success, savor the satisfaction of achievement. Engage all your senses in this creative visualization until it feels more real than your current circumstances. Practice this sacred imagination daily, knowing that you are impressing upon the universal mind the template of your desired reality. What you consistently imagine with feeling and faith, you invite into manifestation. Part 2, The Alchemy of Transformation. Chapter 11, The Healing of Ancient Wounds. In a village among ancient hills, Cornelius worked his forge with practiced hands. Each strike of his hammer echoed the rhythm of transformation he had discovered within himself. Where once he saw his difficult past as a burden, he now understood it as the raw material from which he forged his strength. Just as he learned to transform crude metal into objects of beauty and purpose, Cornelius discovered that his painful memories could be reshaped into wisdom. The heat of awareness and the hammer of acceptance gradually transformed what was once unbearable into something useful and meaningful. Your past experiences, no matter how challenging, are not obstacles to your manifestation. They are the foundation from which your greatest power will emerge. When you resist or deny past wounds, they remain active in your energy field, creating distortions in your manifesting power. Yet when you embrace them with understanding, they become portals to profound transformation. Iris, a teacher in a nearby town, carried the weight of childhood rejection for many years. Her attempts to attract loving relationships were unconsciously filtered through this unhealed wound, drawing experiences that reinforced her old pain. It was only when she turned toward her past with compassion that everything changed. Through gentle self-examination, Iris realized her childhood experiences had taught her she was unworthy of love. This belief acted like a hidden barrier, deflecting the very connections she longed to create. As she held this wounded part of herself with tenderness, a remarkable shift occurred. The universe, no longer encountering resistance, began delivering relationships that reflected her newly discovered self-worth. Your emotional wounds are not mistakes in the universal design. They are opportunities for deep healing and expanded consciousness. When you transform your relationship with past pain, you release energy that has been bound in old patterns, making it available for manifesting your desires. Sacred practice. Find a peaceful moment and bring to mind one limiting belief from your past. Perhaps it whispers, "I'm not enough," or "I don't deserve abundance." Observe this belief with gentle curiosity, as you would watch a leaf floating on a stream. Notice where this belief lives in your body. Place your hand there with infinite tenderness. Speak to this part of yourself as you would to a beloved child. I understand why you learned to believe this. It served to protect you then. You are safe now to release it. Now craft a new belief that resonates with truth and power. I am worthy of all good things, or I deserve unlimited abundance. Feel this new belief taking root in your being, like a seed planted in fertile soil. Each time the old belief arises, greet it with compassion and gently replace it with your new empowering truth. Chapter 12, The Alchemy of Forgiveness. In a quiet garden where roses bloomed against weathered stone walls, Millicent tended her flowers while carrying a heavy burden in her heart. For years she held on to anger toward those who had wronged her, believing her resentment served as a shield. Yet as she watched her garden flourish, where she released her grip and allowed nature to take its course, she began to understand a deeper truth. Like weeds that strangle beautiful blooms, unforgiveness chokes the natural flow of abundance in your life. Each grievance you harbor creates an energetic knot, binding your creative force to past moments that no longer serve you. These bonds act as invisible barriers, preventing the universe from delivering your desires. Through her daily practice of releasing one small resentment at a time, Millicent discovered that forgiveness was not about the other person. It was about freeing herself. As she loosened her grip on old hurts, new opportunities began flowing into her life effortlessly. Edgar, a merchant who had lost his wealth through his partner's deception, learned this lesson through bitter experience. For 3 years, his thoughts of revenge and betrayal consumed his energy, leaving little space for new prosperity to enter. It was only when he chose to forgive, not to excuse the betrayal, but to release himself from its grip, that his fortunes began to shift. Within months of his decision to forgive, Edgar found his mind clear enough to recognize opportunities he had been blind to before. His business decisions, no longer clouded by resentment, became sharper and more intuitive. The very act of forgiveness had cleared the channel through which abundance could flow. When you hold on to grievances, you remain energetically tied to the very experiences you wish to move beyond. Each moment spent in unforgiveness is a moment denied to creating what you truly desire. The universe cannot deliver new blessings through channels clogged with old resentments. Sacred practice. Select one situation or person that has caused you pain, starting with something relatively small. Sit quietly and acknowledge the hurt you've carried. Don't judge yourself for having held on to it. This too was part of your journey. Take 3 deep breaths, and with each exhale, release a small portion of this burden. Speak these words aloud or in your heart. I choose to free myself through forgiveness. I release this weight not because what happened was right, but because I deserve peace. Visualize yourself cutting the energetic cords that bind you to this past hurt. Feel the lightness that comes with each small release. Remember that forgiveness is a practice, not a destination. Return to this exercise whenever you feel the weight of resentment returning, knowing that each release creates more space for your desires to manifest. Chapter 13. The courage to release what no longer serves. In the heart of an ancient marketplace, Gladys arranged her wares each morning just as she had done for 20 years. Her small shop, filled with items she could no longer part with, had become more storage than store. The shelves groaned under the weight of memories, each item holding a story she wasn't ready to release. The universe speaks through the language of space. When your hands and heart are full of what no longer serves, there remains no room for what wishes to enter. Like a vessel already filled to the brim, no new waters of abundance can flow into your experience until you create space through conscious release. Through quiet observation, Gladys noticed how her attachment to old inventory mirrored her attachment to outdated dreams. Each unsold item represented a fear of letting go, a resistance to the natural flow of life. As she began releasing items that had gathered dust, something shifted in her energy. With each piece she let go, her spirit felt lighter, clearer, more open to new possibilities. Felix, a merchant in the same marketplace, clung desperately to his failing spice trade. His family had been spice merchants for generations, and he saw releasing this legacy as failure. Yet as his business crumbled despite his best efforts, he received an unexpected invitation to teach cooking with his beloved spices. Only by releasing his grip on what was dying could he discover what wished to be born through him. The universe operates in perfect order, removing what no longer serves your highest good to make way for what does. What appears as loss on the surface often reveals itself as liberation. Your resistance to releasing what you've outgrown creates the very suffering you wish to avoid. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment and bring to mind one thing in your life that you know, in your heart, it's time to release. It might be a relationship that has run its course, a belief that limits your growth, or a situation that no longer aligns with your path. Place your hand over your heart and speak these words: I trust in the wisdom of the universe. I release with love what no longer serves my highest good, making space for what wishes to enter. Take one small, concrete step toward letting go. This might mean removing one item from your space, having one honest conversation, or writing a letter of release, even if never sent. Trust that as you create space, the universe will fill it with exactly what your soul needs for its next phase of growth. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14: The Sacred Pause of Reflection. In a remote mountain sanctuary, Wilbur spent his days observing the subtle movements of life. While others rushed through their existence, he discovered that true understanding emerges in moments of stillness. Each evening, as the sun painted the sky in hues of amber and gold, he would sit beneath an ancient oak tree, allowing the day's experiences to settle like leaves floating to earth. Through this practice, he uncovered a profound truth: wisdom does not come from the experiences themselves, but from the quiet contemplation that follows. The universe speaks in whispers, revealing its secrets only to those who pause long enough to listen. When you take time to reflect upon your journey, patterns emerge that were invisible in the midst of motion. Each experience carries within it a sacred teaching, waiting to be discovered through the lens of conscious awareness. These moments of reflection transform raw experience into pure wisdom, much as fire transforms raw materials into gold. Opal discovered this truth during a challenging period in her life. Each evening, she began lighting a candle and sitting in sacred stillness, reviewing her day with gentle curiosity. Through this practice, she noticed how situations that once seemed like obstacles were actually stepping stones, guiding her toward greater strength and understanding. One evening, while reflecting on a seemingly ordinary interaction, she recognized how far she had come in her ability to maintain peace during difficult conversations. What appeared as small moments of progress revealed themselves as profound transformation when witnessed through the eyes of reflection. The universe operates through cycles of action and reflection, doing and being, movement and stillness. It is in the quiet spaces between experiences that their meaning becomes clear. Like a crystal catching light, each moment of reflection reveals new facets of understanding about yourself and the universal laws that govern all creation. Sacred practice. Set aside sacred time each week for quiet reflection. Create a special space where you won't be disturbed, perhaps with a candle or meaningful object to anchor your awareness. In this stillness, review your recent experiences with loving attention. Ask yourself, record your insights in a journal, treating each revelation as a precious gem of understanding. Remember that this practice of reflection is not about judgment, but about deepening your relationship with universal wisdom. Through regular contemplation, you transform your experiences into lasting wisdom that illuminates your path forward. Chapter 15: The Wisdom of Surrender. Maxine spent her days tending to her children with fierce determination to control every aspect of their lives. She planned their schedules meticulously, worried constantly about their future, and exhausted herself trying to orchestrate perfect outcomes. Yet the more she grasped for control, the more chaos seemed to reign. One evening, as she sat weeping from exhaustion, an inner voice whispered, "Let go." At first she resisted, believing surrender meant abandoning her responsibilities. But gradually she began to understand that true surrender meant releasing her iron grip and allowing a higher wisdom to guide her path. The universe operates through perfect order, an intelligence far beyond human comprehension. When you surrender your need to control every outcome, you align with this divine intelligence. Like a leaf floating downstream, you move effortlessly toward your highest good. Rupert discovered this truth in his fields. For years he fought against nature, forcing his crops to grow according to his timeline. Each season brought struggle and mediocre harvests. Then one year, after a devastating drought, he finally surrendered. Instead of imposing his will, he began listening to the land, following the natural rhythms, and trusting in nature's wisdom. To his amazement, his crops flourished as never before. The land seemed to respond to his trust with abundance. By surrendering his limited understanding to nature's infinite intelligence, he accessed a power greater than his own efforts could ever achieve. Surrender does not mean becoming passive or abandoning action. Rather, it means releasing attachment to specific outcomes while remaining open to infinite possibilities. When you surrender, you trade your limited perspective for the universe's unlimited vision. This sacred act of letting go transforms struggle into flow, resistance into receptivity. The universe's plan for your life far exceeds what your human mind can imagine. Through surrender, you open yourself to miracles that your controlling mind might have blocked. Sacred practice. Each morning, choose one area of your life where you've been struggling to maintain control. It might be a relationship, a project, or a long-held dream. In a quiet moment, consciously offer this concern to the universe. Feel the relief of releasing your burden to a higher power. Say silently, "I surrender this to divine wisdom. I trust in perfect timing and guidance." Throughout your day, when worry or the urge to control arises, return to this surrender. Remind yourself that the universe holds infinite solutions you cannot perceive. Your role is not to figure everything out, but to trust and remain open to guidance. Chapter 16: The Phoenix of Transformation. In the depths of winter, Vera stood among the charred remains of her beloved bookshop. Fire had claimed not just her livelihood, but the dream she'd nurtured for decades. Yet as she sifted through the ashes, something stirred within her soul, a quiet knowing that this ending held within it the seeds of transformation. Through the darkest nights that followed, she began to see how the universe had been preparing her. The fire had destroyed her old life, but it had also burned away limitations she hadn't recognized. In the space cleared by loss, new visions emerged, grander than anything she'd imagined before. When you face moments of profound loss or challenge, the universe is not punishing you, it is preparing you. Like a master sculptor who must first break down the marble to reveal the masterpiece within, the universe sometimes shatters the old to make way for the new. Chester understood this truth when his business empire crumbled into bankruptcy. Rather than becoming bitter, he chose to become better. In the silence of his empty office, he discovered that his financial collapse had freed him from outdated methods and limiting beliefs. With nothing left to lose, he found the courage to innovate. Within 3 years, he built a new enterprise that eclipsed his former success, serving not just his own interest but uplifting his entire community. These moments of apparent destruction contain within them the seeds of rebirth. When you lose what you thought you couldn't live without, you discover strengths you never knew you possessed. The universe's greatest gifts often come disguised as challenges, wrapped in circumstances that initially appear as obstacles. Your current challenges are not roadblocks, they are gateways. Each difficulty presents an opportunity to shed old skin, to expand beyond previous limitations. When you embrace this perspective, even your darkest moments become fertile soil for growth. Sacred practice. Take a moment now to identify one challenge currently present in your life. In your journal, write down this situation in detail. Then close your eyes and ask yourself, what gift might this challenge be bringing? What growth is it inviting? What old patterns might it be helping me release? Write down any insights that arise without judgment. Then create an affirmation that transforms this challenge into an opportunity. For example, this apparent setback is actually setting me up for something greater. Or, through this challenge, I am being prepared for my next level of growth. Repeat this affirmation each morning upon waking and each evening before sleep, allowing yourself to feel the truth of these words in your heart. Watch as your perspective shifts and new possibilities emerge from what once appeared as obstacles. Chapter 17, The Sacred Circle of Giving and Receiving. In a small village between rolling hills, Melvin tended his bakery with dedication and skill. Each morning, as the sun painted the sky in gentle hues, he created breads and pastries that nourished both body and soul. Yet despite his mastery, his business struggled until he discovered an ancient truth about abundance. One morning, moved by an inner prompting, he began leaving fresh loaves on the doorsteps of elderly villagers who could no longer make the journey to his shop. To his amazement, as he gave freely, his business began to flourish in unexpected ways. New customers appeared, speaking of dreams that led them to his door. Anonymous gifts arrived precisely when he needed ingredients or repairs. The universe operates through eternal cycles of giving and receiving, like the continuous flow of breath, inhaling and exhaling in perfect rhythm. When you grasp onto abundance too tightly, you create resistance in this natural flow. Yet when you trust enough to give freely, you open yourself to receive abundantly. Josephine learned this lesson through different circumstances. A talented artist, she constantly gave her work away, but struggled to accept payment or compliments. Her resistance to receiving created an energetic dam, blocking the flow of abundance in all forms. Only when she learned to graciously accept what others offered, whether praise, payment, or assistance, did her life begin to transform. Her art gallery flourished, relationships deepened, and opportunities multiplied. The universe seeks balance in all things. Just as nature abhors a vacuum, it also resists stagnation. Wealth, love, creativity, all forms of abundance must flow freely to maintain their vitality. When you become an open channel, neither grasping nor blocking, you align with this universal principle of circulation. Your role is not to hoard blessings, but to participate in their circulation. Each act of genuine giving creates space for receiving. Each gracious acceptance invites new opportunities to give. This is not mere transaction, but transformation. A sacred dance of energy that expands with every step. Sacred practice. Each day, consciously engage in both giving and receiving. Give something meaningful, whether material or intangible, without expectation of return. It might be a sincere compliment, a helping hand, or a resource you've been blessed with. Then, practice receiving with equal consciousness. Accept a gift, compliment, or assistance with genuine gratitude, without diminishing or deflecting it. Keep a small journal noting what you give and receive each day. Observe how this practice affects your energy, your relationships, and your sense of abundance. Notice how the universe responds when you become a conscious participant in its eternal flow of giving and receiving. Chapter 18, The Revolution of Self-Love. The truth of self-love emerges through the tale of Prudence, a village healer renowned for her compassionate care of others. While she poured endless kindness into helping those who sought her wisdom, she harbored harsh judgment toward herself. Each evening, after tending to others' wounds with gentle hands, she would berate herself for not doing more, being more, achieving more. The universe speaks through experience, and Prudence's awakening came through a mysterious illness that forced her to rest. In the quiet of her recovery, she realized that she must learn to nurture herself with the same tender care she offered others. As she began treating herself with compassion, an extraordinary transformation unfolded. Her healing practice flourished beyond measure, and those around her noticed a new radiance in her presence. Your relationship with yourself forms the foundation of every experience you attract. The universe can only give you what you believe you deserve, and your self-talk shapes these beliefs more powerfully than any external voice. When you criticize yourself harshly, you broadcast a frequency of unworthiness that repels the very blessings you seek to attract. Homer, a skilled craftsman, discovered this truth through his own journey. His inner dialogue constantly echoed with criticism, never good enough, never worthy of success. Yet when he learned to silence his inner critic and speak to himself with encouragement, his entire world shifted. Clients who had overlooked his work suddenly sought him out. Opportunities he had longed for began appearing effortlessly. By changing his relationship with himself, he changed what he attracted from the universe. Self-love is not mere indulgence, but a spiritual practice that aligns you with the frequency of abundance. When you honor yourself, you declare to the universe that you are ready to receive its blessings. Every kind word you speak to yourself becomes a prayer of allowing. Every act of self-care an affirmation of your worthiness. Sacred practice, and throughout your day, observe your inner dialogue with gentle awareness. When you notice self-criticism arising, pause and ask yourself, how would I speak to a beloved friend in this situation? Replace harsh judgments with words of understanding and encouragement. Notice how this profound shift in your inner dialogue begins to transform not just your energy, but the very fabric of your reality. As you cultivate this garden of self-kindness, you'll observe subtle yet powerful changes in how you carry yourself, the decisions you make, and most remarkably, in the synchronicities that begin to unfold around you. Each gentle word you speak to yourself ripples outward into the universe like waves across a pristine lake, creating patterns of harmony that attract corresponding experiences of grace and abundance. Let every conscious moment of self-compassion become a sacred declaration to the infinite wisdom of the universe, a clear, resonant signal that announces your readiness to receive the boundless blessings that have always been waiting for you. Chapter 19: The Garden of Patience. In a secluded valley, Bertha tended her garden with unwavering devotion. Each morning, she would visit her flowers, not to force them into bloom, but to witness their gradual unfoldment. At first, her heart ached when neighboring gardens burst into color, while her carefully planted seeds showed no signs of life. Yet through this experience, she discovered a profound truth. Nature cannot be rushed. Your manifestations follow the same divine order as Bertha's garden. Each desire you plant in the soil of consciousness requires its perfect season of growth. When you align with this natural rhythm, you enter a state of peaceful expectancy that accelerates manifestation. Impatience creates an anxious energy that actually pushes away what you seek to attract. It stems from a lack of trust in the universe's perfect timing and wisdom. Every time you worry about when your desire will manifest, you scatter the focused energy needed for its creation. Lester, a master woodworker, embodied this wisdom in his craft. While others rushed to complete their pieces, he understood that true mastery emerged through patient attention to detail. He would spend weeks selecting the perfect piece of wood, allowing its natural grain to guide his design. His finished works possessed a quality that no rushed creation could match. The universe operates with this same precision. What appears as delay in your life is often divine protection, preparation, or perfection in process. Every experience arrives at exactly the right moment for your highest evolution. When you trust this truth, you release the resistance that blocks your good from flowing to you. Sacred practice. Take a few moments each day to acknowledge the growth and progress already present in your life. Notice the small improvements, the subtle shifts, the gradual transformations taking place. Write down 3 specific areas where you can see positive change unfolding. Let these observations strengthen your trust in the perfect timing of all things. This practice will cultivate the patience that allows your desires to manifest naturally and beautifully in their own divine season. Chapter 20: The Mystery of Invisible Progress. In a dimly lit laboratory, Clarence peered through his microscope, studying particles invisible to the naked eye. Day after day, he observed how these unseen elements shaped the visible world. Though his colleagues focused solely on measurable results, Clarence noticed a pattern that transformed his understanding of reality. Everything manifested first in the invisible realm. The universe operates through subtle forces that escape ordinary perception. Just as gravity silently holds planets in orbit and magnetism invisibly draws metals together, the law of attraction works ceaselessly behind the scenes of your life. Your desires, once planted in consciousness, begin growing in realms beyond physical sight. Agnes discovered this truth during a period when her dreams seemed dormant. For months, she maintained unwavering faith while pursuing her vision of opening a healing center. Though no tangible progress appeared, she continued her preparations, studied healing arts, and held her vision steady. Then, as if orchestrated by an invisible hand, everything aligned at once. The perfect location became available, funding appeared, and qualified practitioners stepped forward to join her mission. Your manifestations follow this same pattern. The universe begins orchestrating circumstances, aligning people, and preparing conditions long before physical evidence appears. During these seemingly quiet periods, tremendous activity occurs beneath the surface, like a seed germinating in dark soil. Your desires grow through invisible stages before breaking through to visibility. Every thought you hold, every emotion you feel, and every choice you make sets unseen forces in motion. These forces work tirelessly on your behalf, weaving together the perfect conditions for your desires to manifest. Your role is to maintain faith in this process, knowing that apparent inaction often masks profound transformation. Sacred practices. Throughout your day, notice the subtle signs that the universe is working on your behalf. Unexpected connections, relevant information appearing at the perfect moment, small coincidences that feel meaningful. Keep a journal of these synchronicities, however minor they seem. This practice strengthens your trust in the invisible forces orchestrating your good and trains your awareness to recognize the universe's constant support. Let each small sign remind you that unseen progress continues, even when physical evidence has yet to appear. Part 3, The Mastery of Conscious Creation. Chapter 21, The Architecture of Dreams. In the quiet hours before dawn, Montgomery stood at his drafting table, studying the blueprints of his most ambitious project yet. For years, he had created buildings that others envisioned, but now he faced the challenge of designing his own masterpiece. As he traced lines across paper, a profound realization dawned. The same principles that guided architectural design govern the manifestation of all dreams. The universe operates through exact laws as precise as the mathematical formulas that ensure a building stands strong. When you understand these laws, you can architect any reality you desire with the same certainty that a well-designed structure will rise from its foundation. Just as every building begins with a clear vision and detailed blueprints, your manifestations require precise clarity. Vague wishes create unstable structures, while clear intentions provide the exact specifications the universe needs to materialize your desires. Cordelia embodied this truth when she decided to transform her life. Like an architect planning a grand design, she first created a clear vision of what she wanted: a fulfilling career helping others, a loving relationship, and a home by the sea. She understood that just as a building needs a solid foundation, her dreams required strong beliefs to support them. Each morning, she reinforced these beliefs through meditation and affirmation, laying the groundwork for her vision to manifest. She approached her creation systematically, knowing that every magnificent structure rises one carefully placed stone at a time. When doubt arose, she returned to her blueprints, adjusting and refining, but never abandoning her vision. Within months, opportunities aligned with her plans. A position opened at a coastal wellness center. She met someone who shared her values, and the perfect beachside cottage became available. Your role as the architect of your life carries the same responsibility and power. The universe provides the raw materials, circumstances, opportunities, and connections, but you must supply the blueprint that guides their arrangement. Every thought forms part of your design, every belief strengthens or weakens your foundation, and every action builds upon what came before. Sacred practice. Take time now to architect one significant desire. Begin by drawing or writing a detailed blueprint that includes the vision. Describe your desire with architectural precision, including every detail you wish to manifest. The foundation. List the core beliefs needed to support this vision. These are the load-bearing walls of your creation. The construction plan. Outline the inspired actions you will take to bring your vision into form, arranging them in a logical sequence like the stages of building construction. Review this blueprint daily, refining and strengthening it, knowing that the universe will manifest your vision with the same certainty that a well-designed building rises from its plans. Chapter 22. The Mastery of Emotional Frequency. Through the narrow streets of an ancient city, Winifred carried her violin, stopping at various corners to play melodies that matched the vibrations she felt within. For years, she had practiced her instruments without understanding the deeper harmony she sought. One morning, as sunlight streamed through her window, she recognized that her emotions carried their own frequencies, just as distinct as musical notes. Your emotional state broadcasts a constant signal to the universe, attracting experiences that resonate with your inner frequency. Like instruments that must be perfectly tuned to create beautiful music, your emotions require conscious attention and adjustment to manifest your desires. When you understand that emotions are energy in motion, you gain the power to orchestrate your reality. Each feeling generates a specific vibration. Joy, gratitude, and love create high frequencies that align with abundance, while fear, doubt, and worry produce lower frequencies that attract unwanted experiences. Theodore discovered this truth during his darkest hour. After losing his business, he noticed how his despair seemed to attract more reasons for despair. In a moment of clarity, he realized he could choose his emotional state just as deliberately as selecting clothes from his wardrobe. He began each morning by consciously generating feelings of optimism and possibility, regardless of circumstances. At first, maintaining these higher frequencies felt like holding a difficult musical note. But with practice, Theodore learned to sustain positive emotions, even when faced with challenges. He treated each negative feeling as a signal that his instrument needed tuning, rather than as a reason to abandon the symphony of his dreams. Within months, his consistent emotional mastery attracted new opportunities, supportive relationships, and unexpected resources. His life transformed not because circumstances changed first, but because he changed his emotional frequency. Your emotions are not reactions to be endured, but instruments to be mastered. When you learn to generate and maintain feelings of joy, abundance, and gratitude, you become a living magnet for experiences that match these frequencies. Sacred practice. And throughout your day, pause regularly to notice your emotional frequency, as though you were a master musician listening intently to the subtle tones of an instrument. When you detect lower vibrations of worry, frustration, or doubt rippling through your consciousness, consciously choose to tune yourself to higher frequencies, just as a conductor would adjust their orchestra to achieve perfect harmony. You might recall a happy memory that fills your heart with warmth. Focus on something you deeply appreciate until gratitude floods your being, or simply breathe deeply while visualizing yourself filled with radiant golden light that dissolves all shadows of negativity. Like a skilled musician who practices their craft with dedication and patience, work with these emotional frequencies daily until maintaining your desired spiritual state becomes as natural as breathing, as effortless as the flow of a river to the sea. Let each moment become an opportunity to refine your vibrational mastery, knowing that with every conscious shift toward joy, you align more perfectly with the universal symphony of abundance. Chapter 23, The Symphony of Aligned Action. In the grand concert hall where Barnaby conducted his orchestra, he discovered a truth that would forever change his understanding of manifestation. Night after night, he noticed that when he forced his musicians to play exactly as he demanded, the music felt mechanical and lifeless. Yet when he allowed them to express their natural enthusiasm while gently guiding their collective harmony, magic filled the air. Your actions in life follow this same principle. When you push forward from a place of fear, doubt, or desperation, your efforts often feel heavy and produce limited results. But when you move from a place of inspiration and alignment, even small actions create ripples of positive change throughout your existence. Barnaby learned to sense the difference between forced and inspired action. When he tried to control every note, his body felt tense and his musicians resistant. But when he allowed himself to flow with the natural rhythm of inspiration, conducting became effortless and the music transcendent. His orchestra soon became renowned not for technical perfection, but for the soul-stirring harmony they created together. Matilda discovered this same wisdom in her own life. Rather than forcing herself to follow others' expectations, she began listening to her inner guidance. When opportunities appeared, she noticed how her body responded. Tension and hesitation signaled misalignment, while excitement and expansion indicated divine timing. One morning, she felt an unexpected urge to take a different route to work. Following this gentle nudge led her to discover a small shop that would later become her thriving business. Each time she honored these subtle promptings, life seemed to orchestrate perfect circumstances in response. The universe speaks through the language of inspiration. When an action feels light, joyful, and expansive, it carries the energy of alignment. When it feels heavy, forced, or born of fear, it often leads away from your highest good. Your task is not to make things happen through sheer force of will, but to recognize and follow the inspired actions that naturally lead toward your desires. Sacred practice. Before taking any significant action, pause and become still, allowing yourself to commune with your inner guidance system, the divine compass that never steers you wrong. Place your hand gently over your heart center, feeling its steady rhythm, and ask with sincere openness, does this action feel truly inspired and aligned with my deepest desires? Let the question ripple through your being like stones dropped in still water. Chapter 24, The Magnetism of Authentic Being. In a bustling city where everyone wore carefully crafted masks, Genevieve walked through life trying to fit into others' expectations. She dressed as fashion magazines dictated, spoke in carefully measured phrases, and pursued goals that impressed her peers. Yet despite achieving external success, something felt missing, a hollow echo where fulfillment should have been. One morning, gazing at her reflection, she noticed how tightly she held her shoulders, how forced her smile had become. In that moment, she made a decision to remove her mask. She traded her uncomfortable designer clothes for the artistic, flowing garments she truly loved. She began speaking her truth, even when it didn't match others' opinions. She pursued her passion for painting instead of the corporate career that looked good on paper. A miraculous thing happened, so the more Genevieve embraced her authentic self, the more life seemed to embrace her in return. Opportunities that aligned with her true nature appeared effortlessly. People who appreciated her genuine spirit were drawn into her life. Everything she had struggled to achieve before now flowed to her naturally. The universe responds not to who we pretend to be, but to who we truly are. When you release the exhausting effort of maintaining a false image, you free up enormous energy that becomes magnetic to your desires. Your authentic self carries a unique frequency that, when expressed purely, attracts precisely what belongs in your life. Percival discovered this truth through his own journey. For years, he crafted an impressive persona, the successful businessman who knew all the right people and said all the right things. Yet love and genuine connection eluded him. Only when he stopped performing and allowed his natural warmth and quirky humor to shine did he find himself surrounded by authentic relationships and opportunities that valued his true gifts. You cannot attract your genuine desires while projecting a false self. The universe responds to truth, not pretense. When you align your outer expression with your inner nature, you eliminate the static that blocks manifestation. Your authentic energy becomes a clear signal that draws matching experiences into your life. Sacred practice. Take a quiet moment to reflect on one area of your life where you've been trying to be someone you're not. Perhaps it's in your work, relationships, or self-expression. Write down how it feels to maintain this pretense. Now, write down how you would naturally express yourself if you felt completely free to be authentic. Make a commitment to take one small step toward honoring your true nature in this area today. Notice how this shift in energy affects what you attract into your life. Chapter 25, The Harvest of Consistent Practice. In the heart of a fertile valley lived Ezekiel, whose fields produced the most abundant harvests in the region. While other farmers sought quick solutions and miraculous methods, Ezekiel understood a deeper truth, the power of patient, persistent tending. Each morning before dawn, he walked his fields with unwavering dedication. He removed one weed, adjusted one irrigation channel, nurtured one struggling plant. These actions seemed small, almost insignificant. Yet, as the seasons turned, his consistent care transformed the land into a paradise of abundance. The same universal law that governs the growth of crops governs the manifestation of all desires. Just as a harvest cannot be rushed or forced, your dreams unfold through steady, faithful action. Each small step, taken consistently, carries more power than sporadic bursts of intense effort. Tabitha embodied this wisdom in her own journey of transformation. Beginning with just 5 minutes of morning meditation, she gradually built a foundation of spiritual practices. She added one positive thought each day, spoke one word of gratitude, took one action toward her dreams. These moments seemed tiny, yet they accumulated like drops of water filling a vast reservoir. Within a year, her life had transformed beyond recognition. Her relationships deepened, her work flourished, her inner peace became unshakable. Not through dramatic changes or heroic efforts, but through the quiet power of consistent practice. The universe responds more powerfully to steady dedication than to sporadic intensity. Like compound interest, small actions accumulate unseen until they reach a tipping point of manifestation. Your consistent practice builds momentum in the invisible realm long before results appear in the physical world. Each small action you take consistently creates a groove in consciousness, a pathway through which universal energy can flow more easily. Whether you choose gratitude practice, visualization, affirmation, or simple mindfulness, the power lies not in the size of the action but in its regular repetition. Sacred practice. Choose one simple practice that resonates with your heart's desires. It might be lighting a candle each morning with intention, writing 3 lines of gratitude, or spending 5 minutes in quiet visualization. The practice itself matters less than your commitment to perform it daily without fail. For the next 30 days, maintain this practice regardless of external circumstances or visible results. Trust that each small action builds upon the last, creating a foundation for miraculous manifestation. In Chapter 26, The Community of Like-Minded Souls. In a bustling city square, Cordelia sat alone each morning writing her dreams in a leather-bound journal. Though her visions were grand, her progress felt slow and uncertain. Until one morning, when she noticed others around her engaged in similar practices, writing, meditating, visualizing, a spark of recognition ignited within her heart. As she began connecting with these kindred spirits, something magical occurred. Her manifestations accelerated, her clarity deepened, and her faith strengthened. She discovered that when conscious creators gather, their combined energy creates a field of heightened possibility. Your thoughts and beliefs interweave with those around you, creating a collective field that either lifts you higher or pulls you down. Like tuning forks resonating together, you naturally vibrate at the frequency of those you spend time with most. Franklin understood this truth when he left his circle of cynics and doubters to seek out those who believed in infinite possibility. He found them in unexpected places: a morning meditation group, a manifestation workshop, a spiritual book club. As he immersed himself in their company, his own limiting beliefs fell away. Their successes inspired his own. Their faith strengthened his resolve. Their wisdom illuminated his path. Within months, his business ventures flourished, his creativity soared, and his joy multiplied. Not because he worked harder, but because he had aligned himself with others who held the frequency of success and possibility. The universe works through relationship and connection. When you surround yourself with those who understand and apply universal laws, your own understanding deepens. Their victories become proof of what's possible. Their support carries you through moments of doubt. Their energy amplifies your own creative power. Yet this principle requires discernment. Not everyone who crosses your path serves your highest evolution. Some connections drain rather than energize, doubt rather than believe, fear rather than trust. Choosing your spiritual community with consciousness becomes as important as choosing your thoughts and beliefs. Sacred practice. Take time in quiet reflection to evaluate the energy of your current relationships. Notice which connections leave you feeling expanded, inspired, and empowered, and which leave you feeling contracted, drained, or doubtful. Then, make one conscious step toward connecting with someone who embodies the qualities and consciousness you wish to cultivate. This might mean joining a spiritual group, reaching out to someone you admire, or simply spending more time with those who already inspire you. Trust that as you align yourself with higher frequencies, your own manifestation power will naturally expand. Chapter 27. The Legacy of Service. In the heart of a thriving marketplace, Mortimer sat at his modest wooden table each morning, offering business advice to struggling merchants. Though his own dreams of prosperity seemed distant, he found joy in helping others navigate their challenges. What he didn't realize was that each seed of wisdom he planted would bloom into a garden of abundance in his own life. As he shared his knowledge freely, the universe began orchestrating a magnificent dance of reciprocity. His genuine desire to see others succeed created an energy that attracted unexpected opportunities back to him. The merchants he helped began referring clients to his own ventures, and his reputation for integrity spread throughout the community. When you serve others with pure intention, you align yourself with the natural flow of universal abundance. Every act of service sends ripples through the cosmic web of connection, eventually returning to you multiplied. Henrietta embodied this truth when she transformed her small lending practice into a community prosperity movement. Instead of simply providing loans, she taught financial wisdom, shared business strategies, and connected entrepreneurs with resources. As her clients' businesses flourished, her own wealth grew exponentially, not because she sought it, but because she had tapped into the universal law of service. The universe operates through circulation. When you become a channel through which blessings flow to others, you naturally receive more to give. This is not manipulation or strategy, but the organic operation of universal law. Your talents, insights, and resources are not random gifts. They are sacred tools entrusted to you for the upliftment of all. When you use them in service to others' dreams, you activate their highest potential while simultaneously expanding your own. Yet this principle requires pure intention. Service performed with expectation of return creates resistance in the flow. True service arises from genuine care for others' well-being, trusting that the universe will orchestrate the perfect return in its own way and time. Sacred practice. Take a moment now to sink into quiet contemplation of the divine gifts bestowed upon you. What wisdom flows through your mind? What abilities course through your hands? What resources rest within your sphere that could illuminate another's path to their cherished dreams? Consider deeply the unique constellation of talents that the universe has carefully cultivated within you over many seasons of growth. Choose one precious gift from your treasury of capabilities and commit to sharing it freely with another seeker on their journey. Perhaps you possess hard-won knowledge in your craft that could guide a novice's uncertain steps. Maybe you hold keys of insight that could unlock doors for someone facing familiar challenges. Your artistic talents might be the very bridge another soul needs to cross the chasm between vision and creation. Approach this sacred offering with a light heart and open hands, free from the bonds of expectation. Know that in this pure act of service, you become a clear channel through which universal abundance flows. As you freely give of yourself to nurture another's manifestation, invisible threads of blessing are already being woven by the great cosmic weaver, destined to return to you transformed and multiplied in ways more magnificent than you could imagine. For in the divine economy of energy, no sincere gift goes uncirculated, no genuine service unrewarded by the infinite wisdom of universal law. Chapter 28, The Wisdom of Seasons. In the depths of an ancient valley, Ophelia tended her gardens with a wisdom that transcended mere cultivation. She noticed that nature never rushed its creations. Each flower, each fruit emerged in perfect timing. Through patient observation, she discovered that forcing blooms before their season yielded weak plants that quickly withered, while those allowed to develop naturally produced abundant harvests. The universe operates with this same natural wisdom. Each manifestation follows divine timing, periods of quiet gestation, vigorous growth, joyous fruition, and necessary rest. When you align with these natural rhythms rather than fighting against them, your desires unfold with grace and permanence. Just as winter is not a failure of summer, but a necessary phase of renewal, periods of apparent inaction in your manifestation journey serve essential purposes. These quiet times allow integration of lessons, gathering of resources, and preparation for the next phase of growth. Gideon learned this truth when his relentless push for constant expansion nearly destroyed his business empire. In his drive for immediate results, he had ignored the natural cycles of commerce and human energy. Only when he began honoring these rhythms, planning launches in alignment with peak seasons, allowing recovery periods after intense growth phases, and respecting his team's need for renewal, did his success become sustainable. Your manifestations follow similar patterns. There are times for bold action and times for quiet reflection, periods of rapid advancement and periods of consolidation. Wisdom lies not in forcing constant growth, but in recognizing and flowing with your current season. Signs of spring appear in new ideas, fresh inspiration, and budding possibilities. Summer brings energy for action, implementation, and visible progress. Autumn yields harvests and completion of cycles, while winter offers rest, reflection, and renewal of resources. Each phase is equally valuable in the greater cycle of creation. Fighting against your current season creates struggle and depletion. Working with it amplifies your manifestation power while preserving your energy for sustainable success. Sacred practice. Close your eyes and feel into the energy of your deepest desire. Which season surrounds it now? Spring's stirring inspiration, summer's bold momentum, autumn's harvest and reflection, or winter's quiet renewal? Trust your intuition to reveal this inner season. Once known, align your actions accordingly. Plant and plan in spring, act and create in summer, harvest and give thanks in autumn, rest and reflect in winter. By honoring these sacred cycles, you flow with the rhythm of manifestation, not forcing, but allowing. Trust that in divine timing, all things will come to bloom. Chapter 29, The Celebration of Manifestation. Clementine kept a simple journal where she recorded every tiny blessing that graced her days. A warm smile from a stranger, an unexpected coin found on her path, a moment of perfect peace in her garden. Nothing was too small to warrant her attention and appreciation. As she cultivated this practice of noticing and celebrating life's subtle gifts, she witnessed a remarkable transformation. Each acknowledged blessing seemed to multiply, as though the universe delighted in her recognition and responded with even more to celebrate. Her gratitude for a single flower led to a garden full of blooms. Her appreciation for one act of kindness opened doors to countless meaningful connections. The universe speaks in the language of energy, and celebration is one of its most powerful dialects. When you pause to honor and appreciate what has already manifested in your life, you broadcast a clear signal that draws more experiences worthy of celebration. Bartholomew discovered this truth in his own journey. Beginning each morning by acknowledging 3 positive changes in his life, no matter how small, he noticed his manifestations gaining momentum. His celebration of landing 1 new client attracted 3 more. His gratitude for a small increase in income led to unexpected opportunities for greater abundance. The more he celebrated, the more the universe provided reasons to celebrate. This principle operates with mathematical precision. What you celebrate multiplies. What you appreciate appreciates. Each moment of recognition creates a vibrational signature that attracts similar experiences. Your celebrations become seed that grow into forests of manifestation. Yet many overlook this vital step in the manifestation process. They focus solely on what's missing or what's next, failing to honor what has already arrived. This creates an energy of lack rather than abundance, of seeking rather than finding. Sacred practice. Begin a daily celebration ritual. Each evening, write down 3 manifestations you witnessed that day, from the smallest synchronicity to the grandest achievement. Feel genuine appreciation for each one, knowing it represents the universe's responsiveness to your desires. Celebrate these manifestations as though they were precious gifts, for indeed, they are evidence of your creative power in action. As you maintain this practice, watch how your reasons to celebrate multiply, creating an ever-expanding spiral of abundance in your life. Chapter 30. The Infinite Spiral of Creation. In the quiet dawn hours, Evangeline would climb to the hilltop overlooking her village, watching as each sunrise revealed new possibilities on the horizon. With every dream she manifested, she discovered that achievement wasn't an endpoint, but rather a doorway opening to greater visions. The universe operates through eternal expansion. Just as a tree doesn't stop growing when it reaches a certain height, your creative potential knows no bounds. Each manifestation builds upon the last, increasing your capacity to receive and create. Evangeline noticed that as she manifested her early dreams, a cozy home, meaningful work, loving relationships, her vision naturally expanded. What once seemed impossible became probable, then inevitable. The universe responded to her expanding consciousness by presenting opportunities that matched her growing awareness. Nathaniel's journey illustrates this principle perfectly. Beginning with a small shop in the village square, he celebrated each success while remaining open to greater possibilities. As his business flourished, he didn't rest in contentment but allowed his achievements to inspire grander visions. Each manifestation became a foundation for the next level of creation. The key lies in understanding that you are not a finite being with limited potential. You are an infinite expression of the universe itself, capable of continuous expansion. When you grasp this truth, you realize that every manifestation, no matter how magnificent, is merely a stepping stone to even greater experiences. Yet this eternal expansion requires balance, the wisdom to dream bigger while remaining grateful for current blessings. Like a tree that extends its branches toward the sky while deepening its roots, sustainable growth combines upward vision with grounded appreciation. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment each day to expand your vision. Begin by acknowledging how far you've come, feeling genuine gratitude for all you've manifested. Then allow yourself to dream beyond your current desires. Ask yourself, what if this is just the beginning? What greater possibilities await? Let your imagination soar while keeping your heart anchored in appreciation. Write down these expanded visions, knowing that as you grow in consciousness, your ability to manifest grows with you. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. As you close this sacred text, recognize that you have not merely read words on chapters, but uncovered timeless keys to the universe's greatest mysteries. Each teaching, each story, each principle resonates with an ancient truth that has lived within you since the beginning of time. The wisdom shared through these chapters is not new, it is eternal, passing through generations of conscious creators who have walked this path before you. From Evangeline to Nathaniel, from Cordelia to Mortimer, their journeys mirror the infinite potential that stirs within your own heart. You now understand that manifestation is not a distant dream, but your natural state of being. The same force that guides the stars in their courses flows through you, waiting to express through your desires and dreams. The universe that responded to these seekers' intentions stands ready to orchestrate miracles in your life. These teachings are not meant to sit idle in your mind, but to transform through your living experience. Every principle you've discovered is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness, ready to blossom into magnificent reality when watered with your faith and tended with your practice. You have always been a conscious creator. These chapters have simply awakened you to this truth. The power to shape reality has never been separate from you. It pulses in your thoughts, flows through your emotions, and expresses through your aligned actions. Your time of awakening is now, not tomorrow, not when circumstances change, but in this eternal moment where all creation begins. You stand at the threshold of unlimited possibility, armed with wisdom that sages and masters have preserved specifically for this moment in your journey. Step forward with unwavering confidence, knowing that the same universal laws that have guided countless others to their dreams now illuminate your path. Everything you seek is already seeking you. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.